What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. The trade setup from yesterday was an absolute banger. I really hope you guys managed to take advantage of it. If you guys recall, exactly what I said was price comes into fair value gap or just any sort of hourly PD rate and then continuation to the upside. And as for targets, like if you guys recall, one of the other things that I said was, hey, just draw a fib and measure it from one measured move. And like that would have been a really solid place to take profit, because after you hit that first measured move, so ended up chopping around for the rest of the day. Yes, ultimately you did get a little bit more of a profit, kind of like just a little bit more movement. But at the same time, it's like yesterday was a clean day. That's why I told you not to miss yesterday. And live execution was all on Twitter. In fact, you can even find a trade breakdown on like my thought processes throughout the entire trade right on, Twitter. So yeah, with all that said, I think yesterday was a pretty nice day, and hopefully we'll be able to get another win today. And based on what I'm seeing on the market so far, I think we're in for a good one. Now, let me break it down. So on the daily chart, you're looking at a bullish daily bias. Now on the 1 hourly chart, you're going to be like exactly the same kind of setup from yesterday. You're going to be looking for a retracement into some sort of PD array, in which case, in today's case, we would be looking at this bullish order block. It doesn't need to come all the way back down here, because like if you draw a fib from just like low to high, you're already seeing like price is now bouncing away from the golden pocket. This is the 0.618, this is the 0.705, which tends to be the two magic numbers when it comes to Fibonacci's. And when price is confirmed, like basically within 30 minutes, we'll see if we get a confirmation of a candle close above 72,780. If that happens, that is a hourly CIC towards the upside, which confirms this as a potential bullish order block. Essentially, you're going to wait for price to come back into here later on during the news window, and you are going to take off. Case in point, price is kind of pumping right now. And if we were to just take a look at the news today, we have news at 8:30, which means that the ideal trading window that you're going to want to look for this to happen is, yes, candle close. You're going to want to look for price to retrace back into here starting from 7:30, which again, if you know anything about this channel and how we like to trade, the best, absolute best trades are going to come within the news window, which means 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. So starting from 7:30, you're going to want to look for price to already be here, and you want to look for that 5-minute change state delivering towards the upside. Now, same exact setup as yesterday, by the way. Like, let me just show you what I mean. So this was the initial pump, and if you guys recall, like you're going to look for a previous, bullish order block, whatever. You're going to look for a previous PD array to come into. Exactly what time does price come into there? 7 a.m. What time was the news yesterday? 8 a.m. So 8:15 to be exact. You're going to look for price to come back into here, and by the time the news drops, like boom. Now you're already on the 5-minute chart, you're already seeing movement towards the upside, and that is exactly the same thing that you look for today. This is the moment when the system thrives. Like if you take a look at the past couple of weeks, in fact, if you take a look at the past couple of months, one of the big reasons why the system has been struggling so hard is like, just look at this, right? Price goes up, price comes down. For the most part, you're in some sort of a range. And it's not until like, I think last week that we finally started to get some sort of just trending movement. And when the market trends is when this system performs at its best. Trades become obvious, TP targets are hit like within half an hour, and everything just becomes easy. I think, I don't know how long this kind of trend is going to continue, but I know one thing's for sure. As long as the market continues to show us such good signs, I'm going to be here to take advantage of every little drop that I can, and I advise you to do the same. It's kind of what I talk about during this down period, where I'm like, right now it's rough for our system because the market is ranging. Ultimately, our system is not, it's not optimized for trading ranges. If anything, it tends to struggle within ranges. But when the market starts trending again, you're going to start seeing the opposite happen, where we're going to be the ones happy because, well, we're going to be making money. And then the guys that are, doing range trading systems, they are going to start going through a losing streak. It's just the ebbs and flows of the market. I know it sounds a little bit weak when, I'm saying it at that time when, we've just gone through like a losing streak of 5 or something. But like case in point, the last couple of trades has been like pretty solid wins, or even in the event that we ended up with a loss, it's like the idea is super correct. It's just we didn't quite catch the execution. So this is exactly what I mean. I guess conviction when you're down means a little bit more than conviction when you're like super high up. But let's just say that right now the market is very fairly in a trend right now, and trade ideas are going to be very straightforward. And feel free to follow me here, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to be posting all of my live executions for you to see. In fact, about 3 to 4 weeks from now, I'm going to be doing a couple days of like live trading alongside you guys. I will be announcing this to anyone that is on the newsletter probably tonight or tomorrow. So if you are interested in that, it's completely free to register, by the way. If you just want to live trade alongside with me for a couple of days for like 5 to 6 hours, sign up to the newsletter. It's going to be the first link in the description box below. We're going to be announcing this really, really soon. But otherwise, like going back down into the 5-minute chart, just to kind of like refine this a little bit more, I'm going to take a look at where the Asia kill zone is. And yeah, this is just textbook. So we have swept below the Asia lows, on a day where we have a bullish daily bias. Again, this is the manipulation leg. So basically Asia is your accumulation, London is your manipulation, and New York is your distribution. And then you get a convincing changes the delivery to the upside after sweeping out the lows, which means that you have reclaimed the Asia range. Right now, you've already taken out the Asia range high. But like in this case, again, it's just looking for continuation today, because this is a solid accumulation, manipulation, distribution type of move. Today is going to be fun. The only thing that will kind of like invalidate this scenario is if you end up getting a hourly candle close underneath this level. It's always good to keep in mind, the worst case scenario, because like we can't get too bought into this bullish scenario. What if the price does not give us a trade, like a valid trade value? And by the way, just to talk about a real quick invalidation scenario, because it's always good to keep this in mind. Like we don't want to get too bought into our scenario to the point where we're just blindly just chasing that. In the event that we do not get any sort of a CISD, like we are going to return back to this area no matter what, but like in the event that we do not get CISD, we are not going to go towards the upside. Like we're not going to be taking a trade towards the upside, although I think the chances of that happening are pretty low. Secondly is if you get a hourly close below $72,000, basically, if that happens, this is a bearish CISD. You do not want to be going long into that. But again, I will be posting any of the updates on Twitter if needed. So that is the game plan for Bitcoin. Let's take a look real quick at Ethereum. Ethereum, so far, you are having a bullish daily bias. Nothing really too different about that. In fact, this is exactly the same setup. Like, I don't even know why I talk about Ethereum every day, because like it is the exact same setup, to be honest. And like there's no SMT, there's no nothing. I'd say like Ethereum is showing just a tiny bit more strength compared to Bitcoin. At the same time, they both look equally strong. So just pick whatever one that you're more comfortable trading. I'm going to be picking Bitcoin just because like there's no reason to trade Ethereum if it's not clearly showing like a lot more strength compared to Bitcoin. Now, as far as Solana goes, you have finally gotten that confirmed bullish CISD towards the downside. So again, today you're just going to be looking for a long. As for, retracements, you're like this time around, you actually have a pretty clear kind of like order block that you're kind of coming back into. Also right now, because you've gotten a CISD, this is now your new order block. Basically, retracement back into this order block is going to give you an opportunity to trade it towards the upside. Yes, there are relatively equal lows here, but I wouldn't be too concerned about that, especially if you start seeing that, 5-minute changes that delivery around that news window. And with that said, yeah, today is a super straightforward day. Again, if you're interested in that live trading event, sign up for the newsletter. We're going to be making an announcement on that real soon. And yeah, good trading.